So on January 7th, 2022, a dumpster diving trio is on the prowl in Hobbs, New Mexico. It's a small city just over the Texas border. They've got their eyes on 3 dumpsters behind the Broadmoor shopping mall. They're mainly used by a company called Rig Outfitters and Home Store. It's a furniture and appliance store that throws out a lot of treasure. So our divers are hoping to find some old kitchen gadgets. Instead, they find something they never in a million years would have expected. They pull this heavy black trash bag out of the far right dumpster. It's held closed with a hair tie, and then they hear something, like a whimper, maybe a cat. So they tear the bag open only to find a newborn baby, blue from hypothermia with its umbilical cord still attached. They immediately call 911.
Umbilical cord, he's freezing cold, and he's very, he's drained, he's very, very, very weak.
Did you hear that little cry at the end? He's so tiny. It breaks me down every time. Police show up and they question our dumpster divers. It's not technically illegal to go through the trash, but if you find a newborn baby while you're doing it, you'll probably have some questions to be answered. So check this out. Roughly 6 hours earlier, a white car pulls up next to the dumpsters. A woman gets out, she pulls a trash bag from her back seat, and she tosses it into the dumpster. And then she drives away, having just left a baby to die in the cold dumpster, because January nights get awfully cold, even in New Mexico. Thank God, of all the dumpsters in New Mexico, our trio decides to dive into that one. And because of that miracle, the baby boy survives. Now, the hunt is on for the white car and the woman who threw him away like garbage. Alexis Avila is your typical teenage girl. She played in the school band, she made the softball team during her freshman and sophomore years, and then a car accident between her sophomore and junior year kept her off the team for medical reasons. Now, keep that accident in mind because it's going to come back into play later. So during her junior year, Alexis dated this guy named Steven. Same school, but he's a couple years younger than her. They're active. They're sexually active. And yada, 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 Alexis gets pregnant before classes end for summer break. But here's the thing. Alexis doesn't know she's pregnant, or so she says. Her situation becomes clear in the middle of her senior year, January 4th, 2022, when she goes to the hospital with lower back pain. Oh, it's probably my accident, she said, that car accident. So the doctor gives her some painkillers and he sends her home. According to Alexis, painkillers, they don't rarely do anything to help her back pain. So she goes to another hospital because she's still in this terrible pain for a second opinion on January 6th. This time, the doctor walks in with shocking news. Alexis, you are pregnant, like very pregnant, like due any day now pregnant. Well, Alexis keeps this secret to herself. The very next day, she stays in bed. She tells her parents it's her bad back acting up, but she also feels really constipated. I mean, her dad even gives her something to help with the constipation. At some point in the afternoon, while her parents are gone at work, Alexis gives birth to her son on the bathroom floor. She cuts the umbilical cord and she wraps the baby in a dirty towel. And then she puts him inside a trash bag with other stuff like wrappers, empty boxes, scraps. Real garbage. So take another look at the surveillance video. She heaves the bag into the dumpster like last week's trash just after 2 p.m. on January 7th. People keep throwing garbage in that dumpster for the next 5 hours because, they have no idea they're burying a newborn baby. Then around 7:40 p.m., our dumpster divers show up and find the boy. So doctors can't believe their eyes. According to one, this baby is unnatural shades of red and blue. His skin doesn't look right and the early stages of frostbite have set in. His temperature is so low, it doesn't even register, which tells the doctor he's suffering from hypothermia. The police get a partial plate from the camera footage that we've been looking at, and that leads them to Alexis Avila's house where her parents confirm, yes, that white car is hers. Then they take Alexis down. At the police station, she explains what happened after she gave birth.
I put it in the bag. I took it to the car. When I was in the car, I had 2 trash bags. I took one with me, which is the one that I had, and then I put it again, and then I drove around and I didn't know what to do, and I just put it in there.
She seems stunned, like she doesn't really understand how horrific this is. But when police ask what she thought would happen after she left the baby in the dumpster, she keeps quiet. She doesn't answer. And listen to this, because the officer is like, girl.
It's not normal behavior from any reasonable person to do what you did. If I'm
What do you mean?
It's not.
In a panic when I just turned 18?
Right. It still isn't, though. We're talking about a baby.
Well, I know what you mean, but, like, I get what you mean.
So she tells police the same story. She didn't know she was pregnant until the day before she delivered. But that's not true. Friends from school claim Alexis was open about her pregnancy in the fall, and then she stopped going to school in December. She's eloquent. You heard her. Obviously, she's a smart girl. But when the officer digs a little deeper, trying to understand why that baby boy ended up in a dumpster, Alexis says this.
I knew I was too young, but I knew I would be able to do, like, I'm about to graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
School's not my worry. I have a stable job. Money's not a worry for me.
Okay.
So I would be able to, I if the baby's okay, I want it.
That's probably not gonna happen, right? I mean, right? On January 8th, 2022, Alexis is arrested for felony child abuse and attempted murder. Police release her, though, right away after her family posts a $10,000 bond. By then, her baby has spent more time in that dumpster than she spent in jail. Her trial wouldn't begin for another year. Meanwhile, the baby's paternal grandfather started the custody process and named the baby Saul. That's Stephen's grandfather, because apparently Stephen thought Alexis had a miscarriage after they broke up, so did know you were pregnant. Her story went viral as she waited for her trial to start. New Mexico, among other states, began pushing the importance of safe haven laws. All 50 states have some kind of safe haven law, which basically just means you can leave your baby at a designated safe haven without getting into any trouble. New Mexico has the second most lenient safe haven laws in the country because you have 90 days to bring your baby to the hospital, where you can leave it with any hospital staff member. And most stores don't have that kind of return policy for, like, clothes. You can easily Google the safe haven laws in your state to learn what you need to do if you find yourself in this situation. Her trial began on April 11th, 2023. Her defense team didn't deny what she did, only the intent behind it. Because being found guilty of child abuse is one thing, and attempted murder is a whole other thing. Though her defense strategy worked, in May of 2023, the jury found her guilty of first-degree child abuse with a mandatory sentence of 18 years in prison. She's lucky that those dumpster divers found little Saul before he died, because if they hadn't, Alexis could have been looking at a life sentence. But as of 2024, her story isn't over. She was released from custody in October 2023, and she's waiting to appeal her case. It's unclear if she's had any contact with Stephen, his family, or her son. Baby Saul turned 1 on January 7th, 2024. And it looks like he's still in the custody of his father and grandparents. By all accounts, he seems really healthy, which is amazing. Let's just hope that he stays that way and there's no lingering physical or emotional damage from that experience. As for Alexis, should her appeal fail, she'll likely spend the next half of her life in jail, which is just also very sad. She was trying to throw away a baby, but she accidentally threw away her own life. But what would you do in this situation? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you like getting all the crime in half the time, let us know. Give this a thumbs up and remember to subscribe so you never miss a recap. As always, it's amazing to see you here. Thanks for spending some time with us today. See you in the next one.